Everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the answers of Launchpad 4. So let's begin with the physics question. So let's discuss the solution of the physics question, which is from calorimetry. In the physics question, it was given that there is a calorimeter. So calorimeters are made of copper. So let's say the heat capacity of the calorimeter material is H, and the temperature is 110, and after you add a particular liquid to the calorimeter at 80 degree, which is the boiling point, 5 grams of liquid completely evaporates. So that means 80 is the equilibrium temperature, and as far as the liquid is concerned, when the liquid is dropped, so it is 5 grams, and when the liquid is dropped, its temperature is 30. So 5 gram is the amount of liquid, S is the specific heat capacity of the liquid, and 80 minus 30 is the temperature change for the liquid. After that, the entire liquid evaporates. So suppose L is the latent heat of the liquid. So 5 into L, this is the heat absorbed by the liquid, which enables it to completely evaporate, and 5 into S into 80 minus 30 is the heat absorbed for the liquid to rise from 30 to 80. This is equal to the heat given out by the calorimeter. So if you simplify this equation, so you will get 5L plus 250S is equal to 30H. So this is one equation which we are getting. Now it's written that after this, some more liquid is added, in fact 80 grams, and when 80 grams of liquid is added, so that's 80 grams, specific capacity is S, and now the temperature becomes, equilibrium temperature becomes 50. So the rise in temperature will be 50 minus 30. Meanwhile, the calorimeter has already achieved 80, so further it's going down from 80 to 50. So this is the heat given out by the calorimeter. So if you simplify this equation, then you will get 1600 S is equal to 30S. So you have two equations with you, right? The first equation is for the first 5 grams of the liquid. The second equation is for the next 80 grams of the liquid. If you compare, which basically means you can just divide these two equations. So if you do that, then you will get 5L plus 250S by 1600S is 1, and if you simplify, you will get L by S is 270. So the answer is 270. Now there's a very interesting twist in the tale. What is that? This question, it is not stated whether the calorimeter is closed. So if the calorimeter is closed, then the vapor form of the liquid will not be allowed to escape. In that case, what will happen? This second equation, right, which I have written, will be different from what is written over here. The second equation, it will be 80S into 50 minus 30, and I am not allowing the vapor to escape. So this will be 5L plus 5S into 30, right? Because I am not allowing the vapor to escape, and you have to remember that the temperature is coming down from 80 to 50, plus for the calorimeter, as usual, it is H into 80 minus 50, which is H into 30. So if you don't allow the vapor to escape, if you close the calorimeter, so the vapor will be contained inside, and therefore in the second case, when more 80 grams liquid is being added, that time the vapor will also participate in liberation of heat. So you will have to factor that in the equation. On the right hand side portion, this extra portion will have to be added on the right hand side. So now it will become 1600S is 5L plus 150S plus 30H. So this time your two equations are The first one will be the same as it was previously, and the second one is this. So you once again have two equations, and you can easily compare them, and you know what I mean. Just divide both of them like this, and this ratio is 30H divided by 30H, which is 1. So ultimately you are getting 10L equal to 1200S. So L by S is 120. So a very interesting question where there are two possible answers. The ratio of the latent heat to specific heat is 270 is one answer, and the ratio is 120 is another possible answer. So both answers are admissible because it is not clearly mentioned in the question whether the calorimeter is closed. So if it is open, this is the answer, but if it is closed, then you are not allowing the vapor to escape. So in the second situation, the vapor will also participate in the transaction of heat, and therefore you will have to add this extra term. So answer in the second case will be this. So there are two possible answers in this sum, 270 and 120. So this is the first question from Launchpad 4, that is the physics question. Now let's move on to the chemistry question. Now in the chemistry question, the entire question was based on the metallurgy of aluminium, right? Now in the metallurgy of aluminium, there is a particular step which is called concentration by leaching. So when you say concentration by leaching, what it basically means is that you are taking certain steps to purify the ore. The ore is bauxite, it's already given in the question, and bauxite is basically, chemically it is alumina. So in leaching, what we do, we digest it with NaOH. So you get sodium aluminate. This is sodium aluminate. Now sodium aluminate, if you pass carbon dioxide, sodium aluminate, if you pass carbon dioxide, then you will get aluminium hydroxide as a precipitate, right? Sodium aluminate, if you pass carbon dioxide, you will get aluminium hydroxide as a precipitate. Now aluminium hydroxide, if you see chemically, aluminium hydroxide is basically nothing but hydrated alumina. So 2 moles of aluminium hydroxide is equivalent to 1 mole of hydrated alumina, that is Al2O3.3H2O. So the first option is correct, that is on passing carbon dioxide through sodium aluminate, you are getting hydrated alumina. So the first option is correct. Now when you get alumina, the main problem is that you need to have alumina either in molten form or in aqueous solution. Now aqueous solution, it's not going to work because Al2O3 aluminium has a strong affinity for oxygen, so it has to be molten form. Now the problem with molten form is that the melting point of alumina is very high. So to bring down the melting point, you need to add cryolite. So Na3AlF6 is added to bring down the melting point. So that means option 2 is also correct. Now once you have added cryolite, so what is going to happen is that once you have added cryolite, so you will have molten Na3, you will have molten Al2O3 plus Na3AlF6 combination. So this will be your electrolyte, and carbon anodes will be there. Okay, carbon anode will be there. So carbon anodes will be there, and the chamber is a chamber made of steel, and carbon lining will act as the cathode, right? So what is going to happen is that Al2O3 plus Na3AlF6, because it is in molten form, so you will be able to separate out the ions. So at the cathode, what will happen is that Al3 plus will convert to aluminium, and that aluminium will be drained out because it is in molten form. And at the anode, what will happen, all these carbon anodes are there, so they will react with the oxygen gas to give CO2. So you will get CO2 at the anode. So that means this is also correct, right? You will get CO2 at the anode. So these are the answers of the chemistry question. So that means all the 4 options are correct. And by the way, yes, it is a steel chamber with carbon lining which is acting as the cathode. So that is also correct. All 4 options are correct. So the first option in the chemistry question was that when you pass CO2, then you are getting hydrated alumina as precipitate, which is correct. The second option was that cryolite is added to lower the melting point, that is correct. The third option was that at the cathode you are getting, at the anode you are getting CO2 gas, which is correct. And the fourth option was that the chamber is steel and the carbon lining is playing the role of the cathode. So that is also correct. So all the 4 options, it was a multi-correct question, and all the 4 options are correct. Okay, now we move on to the maths question of Launchpad 4. Now in the maths question, actually this was a equation in logarithms, and we were supposed to solve this equation and evaluate its value. Now you can see that all these are logarithm to the base 2 or base 4. So probably the best way to approach this sum is, let us take logarithm to the base 2 on both sides of the equation. So if we do that, then we will get log 9 base 2 into log base 2 log 9 base 2 whole square plus 1 by so I'm taking this as x and I'm taking log x base 2 on both sides. So over here you will see that I'm getting log 9 base 2 into 2 log base 2 log 9 base 2 plus this is log 4 by log 7 into half log 7 is equal to log x base 2. Now you can see that log 9 base 2 which is itself log base 2 is cancelling with this. So you are getting a 2 here, and log 7 is getting cancelled. And remember that log 4 you have taken it to the base 2, so it will be 2. So 2 by 2, and ultimately this is log x base 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So x will be 2 to the power 3, that is 8. So the answer of the maths question, which is from logarithms, is 8. So that completes the discussion of Launchpad 4. And I just wanted to say one thing before winding up, that some of you have sent solutions which are different from mine. That's perfectly all right. In fact, I think we should have a variety of selections, variety of solutions which I can also share. You know, if I feel that your solutions are different, but they are probably shorter than mine, maybe we can discuss those also. For instance, in Launchpad 3, there was a geometry question and some of you did it using trigonometry, which was very interesting. So please do send your solutions, and there is no time limit. You can send it as and when you have tried it, right? And we will continuously have solutions within a day or two of posting the PDFs. So that's it as far as Launchpad 4 is concerned. Thanks a lot, all of you.